work on 11 to 12 here. I'm just going to get right into it. Again, everybody, thanks so much for coming out. I do appreciate it. So at this point, I would really like to try the new map. I'm still going to roll with random because it's going to give me the most experience. No quitting and requeuing. Why are you worried about? This map is fine for Abathur.
Insufficient minerals.
Listen up, commanders. We've got a serious level of infestation here, and we need to burn it out stat. These monsters,
even with all of your extra toxic nests,
they burn up during the day. That's when we'll torch the infested structures.
Our supply is constrained.
No, they don't. They don't do anything against the zombies. But, you know, you can always find some use for them, right?
Doing the happy dance, doing the happy dance.
Thanks so much for the follow, Atiku. I hope I said that right. Oh god, I keep forgetting I don't need anything to tech. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Maybe Colossi Adept? I think that sounds like fun. Let's do Colossi Adept. So, okay, I use hotkeys in a very specific way, because I used, basically I took the core, which is a hotkey setup that utilizes a lot of modifiers. Like, I use every single different modifier in a different way. So, me personally, I think it's Control Shift. It's been a while because I just have a keyboard that kind of can do these things. But anyways, I use Control Shift and then J, I, O, P, K, L, and semicolon for all my camera locations. But on the average setup, anybody who wants to like do it on a basic setup, not straight from whatever Blizzard would set you up as, you're going to use Control, I believe it's 2, no, Control 3, oh, sorry, F3 through F8, I think is what it is. And then, so you use Control F1, sorry, F3, F4, F5, F6 to set the location, and then you just press F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, and 8 to jump to that location. So, I use something different. I use Alt, those keys I said before, because I like to use Alt as center on current location. So if I press this, I can center the camera on that spot. So that way I can use them for base cameras, and they're perfectly centered around all my bases. So I know exactly where to look every single time that I switch to a new location. I'm not sure what the hell I want to do. He's just going to do this. Damn it, I knew it.
They'll pull in your forces and stun them if they aren't dealt with.
But I hope that helps. Yeah. You know, I haven't really made too many Immortals yet, so I'm gonna do that.
Our upgrade has finished. It is an honor to fight beside you, Caldos.
So maybe, you know what I'll do? Instead of Colossi, I'm gonna do Immortals. Let's see, there is no upgrade for Immortals, right? Except for the, There's no upgrades for Immortals. Besides, of course, the general things that you can get. But yeah, I want to get some Immortals this time.
Our allies' base is under siege. Upgrade complete.
So let's get the Adept one.
is eternal.
The night's almost over. We'll be
But yeah,
back
if you look
starting in the
below
daytime.
on my bio that I have below, you can see exactly the keyboard I use, and everything's color coded. Where like camera locations are in green, control groups are in like a purple red, or sorry, a red pink, and basic anything else on the
Okay,
keyboard,
commanders.
like
We
that
need to
gray
destroy
tone,
enough
those
structures
are
today to stay ahead of the
keys
infestation.
used for
I've already marked a few
abilities,
for you.
so that I can use rapid fire for every single one of my every single ability that I have can be used in rapid fire. So it's really helpful for me to have these things. So, but if anybody has any more questions about that, I do have a video on YouTube about hotkeys or rapid fire.
Got another sector with structures
There's
on my scanners.
also Jack Attack's video where he talks about that stuff and the core. The core is an amazing hotkey setup if you're used to it. It took me a couple weeks to get used to, but once I got used to it, oh my god, my playstyle got so much better. And it's only gone up since.
The firstborn shall persevere.
We cannot warp.
Yeah, they like to mess with things. I don't know. But I've had numerous problems with Blizzard and their hotkey setups.
Shall persevere.
Hierarch. I am the... What would you ask me?
Sending you the coordinates for more structures.
What do you mean not ordered? Oh yeah, control group setup. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stuff like that. No, it's not. It's true. It does take some getting used to. But the whole idea of the core is to use the exact,
Every last bit of it.
your primary fingers to do all the work.
Shall be done.
You know, like keys that are going to make the most sense to use the most
Don't
are
forget
the
our
ones
base
that
will have
are,
to be defended at night.
you know, you're basically just using your home row, if that makes any sense.
Hierarch. I am recalling our warriors now.
Yeah, I know. I can understand why people would be a little hesitant to do so. Like, don't get me wrong. I totally understand.
Another night, another fight. Keep them out of our base.
I know it's not for everybody, but oh my god, it's so nice once you get used to it. Everything is in such a concise spot, exactly where you feel, or at least I feel like I need it to be.
I hunger.
Look out for those hunterlings. They're fast, and boy can they jump.
The firstborn shall persevere.
Insufficient minerals.
The firstborn shall persevere.
There are not enough minerals.
Glory to the daylight.
Like a new old girlfriend. Exactly where you need her to be. Is that something that you can say?
We require additional pylons.
I have met the glory to the
You have to defend that barricade if it's gonna stay standing.
Construct additional pylons.
God. That is the one thing about Phoenix. Oh God, the supply depots you need. Or sorry, the
glorious combat is upon us.
yeah, no, the grid's a fantastic one because it basically uses
Pylon is under attack.
a general normal setup that you would get from like Blizzard, and it just augments it to make it a little bit more user-friendly for the simple fact that, you know, you don't have to get used to a whole new key binding. The whole reason I switched to the core is I knew I wanted to try something different. I knew that the general hotkey setup that came with Blizzard, or however they set it up, just really didn't work as well for me. I feel like I wanted to try something new. And then when Legacy of the Void came out, I was like, before I get started playing, because I stopped playing for a little while, and I stopped, so like I said, I stopped playing, and I knew I wanted to try something different. And then I ended up finding out, looking around for like the most advanced hotkey setup I could possibly find. And I saw so many things about the core. And so I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to give myself this opportunity. I'm going to do everything I can to get good at the core. And so I just played through the campaign. And that's really all I did, was just play through the campaign and then slowly get better. Yeah, any new hotkey setup is going to take some getting used to. And thankfully, like I said, I had this period of time where I had an opportunity to get used to a new hotkey setup without the pressure of like having to do it on ladder or something. So I grew up playing StarCraft the original. So like in original StarCraft, you didn't have a choice about which hotkeys you had to use. You had to use their hotkeys. And so up until Legacy of the Void, I played all the different expansions. I played every single one of the expansions. I played all of Brood War. I played all of StarCraft. So every single one of those was me playing the standard hotkey setup. And it wasn't until later on in life, like Legacy of the Void. I learned that on Legacy of the Void. I learned the core hotkey setup on Legacy of the Void. Not a day before. So I knew that I had an opportunity. Like I said, I knew I had an opportunity there to try something different. And once I tried it, like I said, I really appreciated it. I thought it was amazing. There's so many cool aspects of it. But it's not something that you just pick up like nothing. It took me weeks of me getting used to it and me wanting to try all these different things. And the whole thing about the core is you use the keys JIOP as your home row. And that's basically how you set everything up. It's based off of that. Well, ergonomically, for your hand and stuff like that, it's not necessarily the most ergonomic to play that way on a standard keyboard setup, right? So, when you get used to playing the core for the first time, they actually tell you to take a keyboard and turn it 45 degrees so that it fits more easily with your hand. And I was doing that. And then, like, I liked it, but it didn't feel as comfortable for me, so I actually bought this 48-key keyboard that I customized exactly how I wanted it to be. But it still basically reflects what would be a basically a standard keyboard. But I hope all that information helps. I'm not saying you have to try the core or anything, but if you like it, you might get a real kick out of it.
That virophage will burrow once the sun is up. It may take you more than one night to kill it.
Glorious combat is upon us.
There are not
Looks like they're trying to tear down a barricade. Well, that's one less headache to worry about on this planet. Thanks, Commanders.
Our upgrade has finished.
A barricade is under attack.
Your warriors have engaged.
Our allies are engaged in battle. Our base.
Oh god, what the hell are you doing over there?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
That must be placed within. Our allies are engaged in battle. Upgrade complete.
If anybody has any more questions about anything I'm doing, anything like build-wise, whatever, please make sure to let me know. I want this to be as most of an educational stream as well as a fun stream as well, too.
Our pylon is under attack. Our supply is constrained. Detected.
Silverlight Dragon operational.
Our pylon is under attack. Not enough energy. Your warriors. Our allies are engaged in battle.
Glorious combat is
We
upon us.
require additional pylons.
Sharing the surge
Glory to the
We cannot warp there.
healing in progress.
Looks like Amon wants a piece of us too. Get those defenses in place.
The enemy is attacking our probes.
Not my probes. Not Proberto.
Allies are engaged in battle.
It won't be long now. We just have to survive until dawn.
And you may be calm. I lead from the front.
More minerals required.
Combat is upon
Our
us.
upgrade has finished. Our research is complete.
About half of the infestation has been
One of the
cleared
cool
out.
things,
Don't
I'd
give
like to
up.
make sure I go over this too. One of the cool things about the core is, you know how normally you press Control to create a new control group, and you press Shift in order to add to a control
Here's some more
group?
structures to burn out.
And that seems like a normal thing, right? But when you switch to the core, they actually switch those two.
Our allies are engaged in battle.
Phoenix is more fun with gateways, but a little bit more easy to play with Stargates. I hope that helps. But to finish my train of thought, so the reason why you switch that up in the core is you can control click on something, right? And then you select all of that specific unit, right? Well, so when you want to add all of a specific type of unit to a control group, all you do is control, grabs all of them, and you can still add it to any control group you want. So it makes it easier when you're like, oh, I'll do it
Our
right now.
allies are engaged
Do I
in
have?
battle.
I do have some.
Our
So like right
allies
now,
are
I'm going to go ahead and
engaged in
drop a
battle.
couple of these, and then I'm going to drop a couple of these. So I want to add these guys to my main control group, and I want to add my Adepts to 2 different control groups. And I can do that extremely fast, as opposed to having to control click, and then shift click to add it to a control group. You can do it all in one motion, which is like the coolest part, or one of the coolest parts about the core. So there's a lot of cool things about the core that a lot of people don't necessarily realize just off the bat,
Engaged in battle.
but it just takes time to get used to.
Looks like the sun's about to set. Get ready for nightfall.
Deploying onto the front line the blade of Artanis. Iltaro Adu.
Alright,
That's the last of it. The planet's saved, Commanders, and we have you to thank.
his army is so bright and shiny. So I think eventually what I would love to do, for my stream that is I would love to cast somebody else's game. I would love to do that. I think it'd be so much fun to be a caster, for a co-op caster. So, I don't know, I'll pick a day or random, but if anybody wants to send me their replays, and I could cast them in a very informative manner, or I could cast them in the most douchiest manner possible, it all depends on what you guys want. I'm still waiting to play the new map. I cannot believe that we haven't played the new map once yet so far.
Insufficient minerals.
And I'm trying to... No, it's alright. No, again,
Not enough minerals.
Glad you're with
not
us,
once have I
Commander.
played the new map
Planet
on
is
this whole,
crawling
like,
with infested,
leveling journey.
and I need to get my people out of here.
It's weird.
Things attack us whenever we spin up our
Maybe a lot of people
Need to
on, like,
protect
the
us
lower
while we launch.
difficulties
We'll never get off
wanted
this
to
rock.
play the map. I don't know what it is.
I'll send
Why
you
is everyone
coordinates
telling
of
me
our
that? I've
ships.
not played it
You set up a
once
perimeter
since
of
I've
one end,
since I've been
and
playing
I'll start
random.
the launch sequence.
Construct additional pylons.
It's so weird. Like, I do not understand why I have not
minerals required. Insufficient minerals.
Yeah, honestly, please send me replays. I'll make sure to set it up, some sort of Dropbox somewhere. Or actually, you know what you should do? I hope I don't know. I have to see whether or not you can upload co-op replays to like SE2 replay stats, or there's like an SE2 Dropbox. I'll have to make something for that. But yeah, make sure you follow my stream so that you can get access to the latest and greatest and all of that good stuff. So I'm trying to switch up my builds as much as possible, because I know me going the same unit composition over and over again is going to get real boring for you guys. But if anybody wants to see anything specific, make sure to let me know. I know people have been dropping in throughout the entire stream, so... Like I said, if anybody wants to see anything specific, please let me know. Because at this point, I'm just kind of messing around, trying out a bunch of different units. I've already made every single unit. You want to see some Colossi? Okay. Yeah, it was up to like 34 for a little while, too. I'm just waiting for somebody to host me. With like 1,500 viewers. Oh, that would be nice. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do here is get one of every single hero unit. We'll see exactly how well that works out.
More minerals
I've got a ship
required.
that can't wait any longer. They'll be taking off soon, with or without your help.
It's... Oh, wow, that is a really weird shitty... That is a really weird spawn location for the first one. So carriers are fun. They're good because they're powerful, but man, sometimes it can be a little boring.
Our upgrade has finished.
Just because of the simple fact that
Among the bravest zealots I have ever
it's just an
known.
AMU army at that point.
Deploying onto the front line. Your command.
The ship's trying to launch without you. They can't get off the ground before the infested arrive.
Again, not to say that's a horrible thing, especially like lower level players or lower skill capped players. Oh, that's the best thing you could possibly do.
Upgrade complete.
Well, yeah, just a moving guy, but you still have the ability for a lot of those things, or a lot of the different setups.
The infested are attacking the ship. You have to do something, commanders.
You can still do mass carriers if you want it. You just have to do a little micro.
Our allies are engaged in battle. Our supply is constrained. We must construct additional pylons. We require additional pylons. Our upgrade has
Enemy
finished.
forces are moving toward our base.
Glory to the
The firstborn have engaged the enemy.
You have command of the Adepts.
Ship's ready to go. Commanders, feel free to pull back from that launch point.
A lot of the time when people have issues with macro, sometimes it's like supply blocks. Is there anything specific you feel like your macro is missing? Because the more specific you can be about what you feel like is a plus or a minus,
Fights again.
yeah. Yeah, Stukov, you don't really have to worry about too much at all. But yeah, is there any specific part of your macro cycle that you would like to have help with, or like to
Enemy
work
attack
on a
is
little
on
bit
its
more?
way. Intercept it before it reaches
Because like I
the
said,
ship.
man, really?
Our
Are
research
we gonna
is
be able to
complete.
get our expo? Like, what the hell?
Glory to the Daylom.
Our allies are engaged in battle.
Double the
Our allies'
infestation,
base is under
double
siege.
the power, yes?
I mean, to be honest, like, that specific issue can be remedied really just by
Rise again!
working on build orders.
Our allies are engaged in battle.
I have some videos on basically on all the different commanders. Well, I'm gonna be finishing up all the different commanders.
Blightbringer puts him to shame. Kill it if you can.
But yeah, I already have some some
Innocent duck commanders
Rainer
that won't
videos and different
survive
things
in
like that that you could look into if you really wanted to see. But really, if you just focus mostly on upgrades
I bought that ship
first
a little more time. It
and
might
then
make all the
units, you're
difference.
probably going to be fine. But if it's really macro cycle, just honestly getting out
Upgrade complete.
your probes, SCVs, or drones is really the most important part. I talked about this earlier that I'm really trying to find the exact best build orders that I can possibly get for all the different commanders. And it mostly is going to be centered around... excuse me. It's mostly going to just be centered around trying to get my economy up and fully functioning as fast as possible. Because if you can do that, then basically everything else follows. Especially if you don't make a lot of production facilities. You know, a lot of people really don't make enough production facilities, so you'll always have enough minerals and resources in order to get upgrades. Because you're never really going to be able to produce as much as you can. I don't know, that's something I would work on. I mean, honestly, like, prioritizing upgrades is probably one of the best things you can do, but not the only thing that you can do to make everything work.
We cannot work there.
Again, right now I'm just trying to make sure I get one of everything, so
More
I can
minerals
get
required.
this.
There are not enough minerals.
Always making sure that you're only queuing up 2 of anything at the most at any given time. That's another really important step of your making your macro cycle work the best it can for you.
Not sure if you want to deal with Blightbringer, but it looks like it wants to scurry away.
More Vespine is required. Our assimilator must be placed on the Vespine geysers.
Alright, so I'm going to take care of this, and then we'll move on to the
Upgrade
bonus.
complete.
Gotta make sure again. Oh, okay, I'll take care of it.
What would you have? We have not enough Vespine.
The enemy approaches. Prepare for battle.
Time's up. That ship is going now, like it or not. They'll never make it alone.
At least... Why?
Our allies' base is under siege. Our allies are engaged in battle.
Glory to the Daylom.
Our allies are engaged in battle. Is complete. Our allies' base is under siege.
Blightbringer's dead. Good riddance.
Doing the happy dance. Doing the happy dance.
Well, thank you so much, King Kong Long. I really appreciate the follow.
Our allies' base is under siege. More Vespine is required. What would you ask? Our allies
And like, I am not doing a very good job at all during this game of doing out my, at least my probe macro.
We must construct additional pylons.
I'm just so focused on my army at the moment.
The KMC.
But like I said, if you can find yourself the time
Gone haywire.
and the energy
You could deal with that.
to, let's see, I have...
We're off to a good start.
I almost have
Keep
every
it
single
up,
one of the
and we'll get
heroes.
everyone safely evacuated. Amon's forces are inbound, and that ship is defenseless.
We must construct additional pylons.
Alright, so really I just need to get a carrier out, and then be good.
I hunger.
Still waiting for the mojo to finish.
The first move.
Upgrade.
Okay, mojo's out. I almost have it one of every hero. I'm almost there.
Mojo.
Might get out of here alive after all. There's a leak in that ship's fuel line. They have to launch real soon, or they won't have enough left to reach orbit.
Our upgrade has finished.
Okay, now let's get that. And then let's make sure I get the carriers.
Your command. Hierarch.
There's so many upgrades to get right now because I have every single unit. Or almost every single unit.
I am the blade of our hand.
I believe the enemy wishes to test our
Well,
defenses.
That is a very true thing, that dealing with the first attack waves can put a real damper on your early economy. But players that are really good, and sometimes I find myself in that place, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like not the best with my economy.
If the Eradicators re-enter the facility, you won't be able to reach them. You gotta move it if you want to hit them.
Yeah, it's super fun, but oh god, I'm like spending so much money trying to upgrade everything. But what I was gonna say is,
Has finished.
it's very useful to just be getting good at constantly making sure that you have two probes or SCVs constantly being queued at any given time. And if you can get good at that, you're guaranteed to basically finish up your macro cycle at with some sort of efficiency. Whether it's perfect macro or if it's just good, you have lots of opportunities to continue to push with that, you know? Damn it.
The enemy's making a beeline toward a ship. Don't let them reach it. The enemy just left their base. We don't have much time.
I think that's two... Okay, I need another...
Evacuation efforts are going well, commanders. Just gotta keep protecting those ships.
What's cool about the Purifier Conclave is you can tell which one of your heroes are being utilized at any given
Your
time.
command. What would you ask of me?
See, I want to go take care of that bonus, but I feel like I'm going to lose half my army just trying to deal with it.
I hunger. Hierarch, this warrior.
Our allies' base is under siege.
It seems my structure requires more infestation.
Hierarch.
Hopefully.
So,
Amon's think twice before
what
shooting
I
that
suggest
down,
doing
but I doubt it.
for somebody who wants to work
People
on their
that
macro
ship are
cycle,
cheering for you. Hell,
because
so am I.
if you're just focusing on your macro, it's pretty easy.
Eradicators are gone.
It's pretty
Maybe if
easy
we're
to
lucky,
just
they'll
do
incinerate
extremely
everything
well.
after the evacuation.
Shit, missed it just in time.
Glory to
It's
the
pretty easy to just, if you're focusing just on your macro, it's pretty easy to do a good job macroing. Or if you're focusing just on your micro, it's pretty easy to do a good job microing, right? It's doing both at the same time that defines a really good person that can do that, right? So what I suggest is picking like a Kerrigan
And you will be
or maybe a Nova and trying to make sure that you're constantly microing or decently microing your Nova while continuing to finish your macro cycles. If that makes any sense?
We cannot work there.
I find that that's one of the best things that you can do,
The
is
first
focus
horde have
on
engaged
that
the
aspect of it.
hierarch.
No, that's just the... Well, maybe you did. No, we're good. We're good. That's just the rally point. Well, that's just my 2 cents.
The firstborn shall persevere.
They might eventually add that. I'm not sure.
For I ready our defenses. Our foes are on the march.
Alright, let's see. Do I want any more?
I hunger for battle.
Oh, so I've done a lot of only carrier builds, and they're fun. I've talked about this a couple numerous times so far, but they're, I don't know, they're a little boring of a build. I still like him, and I still plan on using them. But don't think they're like the most awesome build you're ever going to find. It gets a little boring. So I am on, what, level 12 now? 11? But don't get me wrong, if you want an A-move army that's really powerful, go mass carrier. You're going to be totally fine with that. There's going to be no issues.
Our allies are engaged in battle.
And especially with the upgrade to make it so you don't need any of your tech, or you don't need any gas or your tech tree to make any building, you can get to carriers really fast.
We must construct additional pylons.
The firstborn shall persevere.
We cannot work there. Our allies' base is under siege. Our allies are engaged in battle.
We have liftoff. Maybe some of us will survive this mess.
Oh, so what is Phoenix's achievements?
The firstborn have engaged the enemy.
Okay.
Incoming enemy
Alright,
attack.
that's what I'm gonna do.
They're headed for one of the ships.
What ignite your blades, my warriors. The enemy comes for our base.
And again, you can tell if you've got all your heroes, because it shows you right there.
The firstborn have engaged the enemy. Our allies are engaged in battle.
A ship is gonna make a run for it. It won't get far without you. Don't know why these guys want us dead, but I'm glad you're here to defend us.
Our allies' base is under siege.
Infestation awakens. I lead from the front.
Our allies are engaged in battle.
Carriers are really awesome. I mean, as playing StarCraft as a kid, I just wanted to make the most badass army, and it always seemed to be the highest supply count units, right? I mean, that's what you always did. But what's going on, Red Rover? Thanks for coming out to the stream.
The enemy has taken an interest in our base.
Engines
sure,
are up and
start.
running.
Okay.
The infested are sure to follow.
I'm gonna hang out over here.
Hierarch. I hunger.
Our allies are engaged in battle. Our allies' base is under siege. Our allies are engaged in battle.
I am a dragoon once more.
I'm detecting lots of infested headed for that ship. It has to get off the ground pronto.
Is under siege. Energy. Our allies are
The
engaged in
skies
battle.
are mine.
I call this
Yeah, Colossi are pretty good for this map.
Allies' base is under siege.
I also really like Adepts, Scouts. I mean, any one of Karax's, every one of Phoenix's units are completely massable, except for maybe Sentries and Legionnaires. Just because, you know, again, Legionnaires can't hit air, and Sentries don't do that much damage. I mean, you can keep your army constantly healed, or constantly
I can't thank you enough.
extra defense, but it's
You
not
saved
enough
us
to kind
all.
of like carry a entire mission. They can die quickly, but once you get to a large enough amount, it's actually not that bad. Alright. So that was 11 to 12, and we just picked up the Assault Champion upgrade. Tal'Darim's attacks store damage on enemy. Okay, that's really cool. Research Robotics Bay. And antimatter missiles. Okay, cool. Well, anyways, that was 11 to 12. Thanks so much for watching.